Cool. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm so sorry we're late. I got distracted and then stuck in the bathroom. And I was like, yeah, get this message from Jean. Are you okay? I'm like, all right, I'm out of time.
Well,
So,
you'll really enjoy the chat. When we were going back and forth, I said we all need a nap from this daylight savings time. Maybe Sherry thought so too.
and then I had Terry holding space on earlier.
I know. I was watching you guys. I'm like, are they
Okay.
alone?
Yeah, and I was like, man, I didn't get to bed till 4:30 this morning. She was like, why? And I said, I couldn't go to sleep. It was just I think it's just the energy is weird because the time change. Today's a really powerful full moon. We got an eclipse coming in another week or two. It's just like all of this stuff kind of happening, and I think the energy is just it's such that it just has kind of thrown me off.
It is. It's a new moon in Pisces, and it is a powerful one, and it's a new beginning. It's a shift for a lot
Mhm.
of the psychics and the intuitives and the energy workers. There's a real it's like a bump up with the psychic energy out there, for lack of a better term. And it's really instigating and propelling a lot of us to move forward and to do more with our gifts. And it's almost like we'll be ramped up. And it's almost like what we did last week was we were struggling with. And then when we try it this week, we'll be like, wow, why aren't I it's almost like really a quick, rapid acceleration in our gifts and our
Yeah.
abilities. So if you're taking a class, now's a good time.
Well, and I've been doing the Marina from Heart Center Tarot has been doing a 30-day class, and it's every morning. You start out with like a little 5-10 minute video with a meditation or a homework assignment, just something to visualize or this, that, or the other. And I've been doing that. We just wrapped up the first week, and that's been nice. So when I go out in the mornings, when I get up first thing in the morning, I go out with my coffee and my cigarette and um, go take that first 10 minutes and just kind of face the day and catch my breath and all this good stuff. And so now I'm plugging Marina in and listening to her little clip in the morning and then kind of going from there. So that's been nice. And I
Yeah,
just,
that really it's a wonderful opportunity, and there's so many different opportunities that are out there. So if anybody is looking for something, and if something comes in your path, no matter if it's like if you have a mediumship class that comes in your path, and you're like, I don't really want to be a medium, but you want to take a class that will help you to find your sort of clairs and your abilities, and find out a little bit more about how to connect to the other side, because it's the difference is just subtle, but it'll help you to understand energy and how to work with your own energy and connecting to your own spirit guides. Reiki taught me how to connect to spirit guides. You would think, what? That's healing energy, but you have to connect to the spirit guides,
yeah,
and also my pendulum when I did my Reiki, and that was like 15 years ago. That's where I learned everything, and
yeah.
it brought me through my crystal healing, through my shamanic healing, through all of my psychic and mediumship
I jump
courses.
on every shamanic class that Danny Bathrobe Tarot gives. I really connect with him when he does his shamanic classes. I think I've taken just about all of his classes for the past couple of years. There's been one or two that I missed, just scheduling just didn't allow it. And then he would send me the clip anyway and say, well, just watch it when you get time. And so I would do it then. But yeah, so hello to everybody in the chat. um, Jill and Jenny, and look, there's somebody named Jean there. And,
Yeah, we have
and well, you and
we
Jenny had a good conversation going.
you guys will find out all about me in the chat there.
There you go.
Yeah, Jenny
Um,
was so sweet to keep me company. Yeah.
that's
Hmm.
it. Yeah, because normally I try to go on at least 30 minutes before we get started. So I'm backstage and I'm there and ready when y'all pop in. And
And you have a show after this too, right?
I do at 4:30. I have the next episode of Mastering Mental Wellness with my buddy Isaac, who's a professional counselor. And today's show is on anxiety. And
Important.
that's we decided instead of us picking the topic for every show, because we meet every second and fourth Sunday of the month. And so we decided instead of us picking the topic a week before the show, I'll post a poll in my
Oh,
community page of like three of the topics that we've got on our list of stuff to cover. And then I let the chatters decide which topic they want us to cover. And so anxiety won this week. So it's like, yeah, that fits.
that's wonderful.
It's
That's a
it's
really
been a
great
real anxious
idea.
day. So and I just absolutely adore Isaac. He's the sweetest man in the world.
Mhm.
Um and he's like I said, he's a professional counselor. It's what he does. Yeah. And I've had this on my heart to do this kind of show for well over a year now. It just really something tugging at me. And so over Christmas, I contacted him. I said, I've got this idea for this show, and I keep seeing your face in my head every time I think about it. Would you be interested? And he was like, from the get go, absolutely, let's do it. This will be fun.
Wow.
So I was like, yep, Spirit hooked me up to the right person. So we do
That's
that together, and which is nice because I mean, I have like a ton of psych classes and stuff that I took at college. Um, so I kind of know what I'm talking about a little bit, but I mean, he's the real deal. That's his profession is
mhm,
what he does.
mhm.
And so it's nice that we're able to kind of combine the two. And he's a really strong intuitive on top of it.
Okay.
And he doesn't have a channel yet, but he said maybe he's been thinking about it. So I said,
Mhm.
well, maybe after a while doing this regularly, you'll get to the point where you're ready to do your own. And I met him through uh, Sonia Rainley and
Oh,
uh,
yeah. Mhm,
EQ from the Soul Sisters.
mhm.
That's how I met him. Was on that show. They were doing an open mic night back like 2 years ago, and he was a guest. And so I jumped in on the open mic, and that's how we met. And it just something clicked with us. We both were like, yeah, it's something feels right, and we just kind of kept the friendship up, and so that's nice. And
Wow.
and
That's
he's
amazing.
he's right next door to me in Mississippi. So um I told him, I said, once I get my car, I'll be able to come visit. He's like, yeah,
Mhm. When
that'll
are
be
you
fun.
going to do that?
I'm waiting on my tax return to come in, which hopefully will be this week or next. Fingers crossed. Uh, so once I get that money in, then I can afford plane tickets, and and then I'll buy tickets for my son and I to fly out to LA and pick up the car, do all the car stuff, and then we'll drive back. And so probably mid-April, I would think, right in that area. So I've been kind of leaving that portion of my calendar empty just in case because I don't know exactly when. And so, but I'm
Well, that's
excited.
good.
I'm ready to go get it. I was laughing with somebody. Yeah, I'm going to be going from LA to LA to come back to LA. So
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right.
and
Well, I think
So
you'll have a really fun adventure. You'll spend some quality time with your son, and
yeah,
you might want to. I don't know what sites that are out there. I don't know if he lives near the Hollywood, or there's some really beautiful areas that you can, visit while you're in that area.
yeah.
There's some.
I mean, I've been to LA in the past when I lived in Phoenix. I went there a couple of times for other purposes, and it's like I really hate driving in this town. Um, it's horrible to drive in. But when I mentioned it to Arthur that I was going to be out there and I wanted to get together so I could just meet him face to face and hug his neck. And he said, "Well, let's do a meet and greet and have everybody come to you instead of you go to everybody." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's kind of a good idea. So we might try to do that. Take one day of the adventure and just do like a meet and greet for whoever wants to come in and whoever's out in that area and be they readers or chatters, it doesn't matter. Um, and just kind of get to know some faces, and I think that'll be fun
Absolutely,
and meet
absolutely.
some people and whatnot. And then on the way back, we'll be stopping in Phoenix. My son has a couple of Navy buddies that he served with that live in Phoenix now, and so he wants to stop and see them on the way back. And I was like, absolutely. And then stop in Tucson and see Juno because she'll be on the way, and then from there it's straight shot back. It's just I-10 all the way,
Wow.
and so
You
and I'm
should
hoping to
stop.
maybe go see Val so as well, and
Oh,
because
nice, nice.
Val is in
Las
Arizona
Vegas.
too, or
Yeah,
yeah, Las Vegas. She's a little north, so I'm hoping maybe we can find an in between spot.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe we can meet for lunch or something.
Uh-huh.
That's how I met Susan Lynn,
Oh,
and
you two would be double trouble out there, I'll tell you. You two would not be able to keep, you make sure you wear protection because you'll probably, laugh so hard that you'll have to, you know.
I'm telling you, I mean, because the first thing she said is, "Well, you're coming to see me," and I said, "Well, of course." It's, I said I
That is so
couldn't be
funny.
that close and not go see you. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, hi, Davy Jones. That's a new name. Welcome.
Hi, hi, Davy
And
Jones. So I just wanted to, may I share something
absolutely.
with your viewers? I just started a new adventure, um, with anyone who is interested. If you want to pop that up below there,
Sure
um,
thing. Let's see. We're going to do this and we'll
there
add
you go.
that. There we
So
go.
it's called Sunday Soul Sessions, and it's every Sunday, and it's at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 9 Mountain, 8 Pacific. And it started today on the new moon, which is a really good time to start something. And it's the
Yeah.
new moon in Pisces, which is a very spiritual and psychic type of enhancement with beginning something new in this field. And I'm offering one a one
Interesting.
hour online gathering of like minded individuals dedicated to exploring and expanding their spiritual awareness. Elevate your weekend with spiritual connection. So it's a Zoom link. And for the month of March, I'm offering 50% off if you buy a single Sunday, it's 50% off, or if you buy a bundle of four. So that it'll be 4 Sundays. And it's not 1 month, it's 4 Sundays. So if you
Yeah.
make a Sunday 1 month and then you can't make any more Sundays, and then you can make 2 Sundays the next month, and then you
Right.
can make, so it's any Sunday that you want. So
Okay.
you could do it consecutive, or you can do it, anyway, because I know that people's schedules, and you have this weekend, you don't know if you have that. So if you
Right.
buy, and it's better if you get the bundle. But for the month of March, it is 50% off with the coupon code LOVE. And
Awesome.
yeah, it's
That's
and
really
to
cool.
yeah, I was really excited, and today was my debut soul gathering, our Sunday soul session gathering, and it was this morning. Now, it was a little challenging because of the daylight savings time. But I think we did it. I had everything planned and I had everything timed. It takes a lot of work planning these things and timing them out, and allowing time for everybody to get to know one another. But it's this like-minded sharing of ideas and getting to know one another and hearing each other's voices and hearing each other's ideas, and it's a I have a loosely uh um the one of the things that we're doing in there is a talking circle, and it's the Native American tradition, but
Hmm.
it's not strictly this. It's just I've taken some of the features of that, and I'm introducing that to my circle, where we go around the circle and we share what's on our heart or on our minds.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
mhm,
That's oh, I'll be
mhm,
checking that out. You know that's
mhm.
right. So
Yeah, maybe
that's
I'll do
great.
I'll share the itinerary so that somebody can get an idea of what. And it's really fast. I mean, the hour is gone before you know it.
Yeah.
We're here, we introduce, we do the circle, and then there's like two other activities. So it's like three different segments, and we do, a little bit of a meditation, maybe like 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, just to get centered and to relax your mind and to focus. And then we enjoy ourselves together, and it's really uplifting. And I just want to leave people feeling inspired.
Yeah.
And it's important for us to tune up our energy that way.
Absolutely. And and it's for those of us who haven't been doing this for a long time, I mean, like most people know, I kept my abilities locked in the closet for the majority of my life, and it's only been like the past 4 years that I finally opened that door up and said, "What's in here?" And and like a full marching band, boy, they came out. So it's but there's still a lot of the little bits and pieces that's helpful that I just don't know yet. And so stuff like this I enjoy, because when you start talking to other people, you've got new people do it, you've got people been doing it for maybe 5 or 10 years, or people that have been doing it since they were a kid, um, that you can get ideas on um, how best to kind of put yourself, to learn and whatnot. And it's very helpful. Jenny, Miss Sherry taking it on the road, yeah. And I'm gonna try to like maybe film and post some of the stuff going on when I take that trip. I might even try to do a live stream or two, um, especially if we do pull off a meet and greet. Then I might try to live stream some of it just so everybody can see who all shows up, and because I think that'll be fun. And
Hmm. And Sherry, do you have the ability there to make me a moderator? Only because I'm trying to kick in the link and it won't let me do that. Uh,
um, on my channel, you're not
on
allowed to.
YouTube, yeah.
I thought you. Well, I'll be damned. You sure aren't? I thought you were.
Well, it's because I'll tell you a little secret just between you and me. I am, but I'm on my phone
Ah,
as a different account than right here. So,
gotcha, gotcha.
mhm.
And okay, I just made you. You should be blue now, and I just made you a moderator. So, Davy, I got your question, and so
There it is.
there
It
we
went up.
go. So
Thank you.
y'all, the link is in the chat, so y'all go and check that out.
Yeah,
Jean's information for her channel is in the description box below. Please go like, share, subscribe. Um, you haven't subscribed to my channel, do the same on my channel.
absolutely. Come on
Um,
over, everybody, to Sherry at Voices from the Swamp and give her
yes,
a
I'd
like.
like to
She has
see.
the most amazing guests on. She is the party central place to be. And
I
if
got
there's
another one
somebody,
I'm planning for next weekend. I just have to sit down and
Uh,
put it all together for Amy Warrior Princess. She
oh,
wants to do a
very
St. Patrick's Day party, so I've got to sit down and do out the list and get everything sent off. And things have been
wonderful.
so crazy around here. I haven't had time to do it.
I
We were
know.
going to do it like a couple of weeks ago, and it just didn't happen. And I was like, okay, let's pick another weekend because this isn't happening for that weekend. So,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
and if y'all have a question you'd like us to answer, or if you just want an oracle card pull, just put it in the chat. Preferably all in caps so I can see it and I don't miss it. Davey, don't worry about redoing yours. I've got it. Um, and yeah, so it's just lots of new things. I have a couple of classes I've been thinking about starting myself. I just haven't refined exactly what I want to do and how I want to do it. I want to try to get my membership up running first before I do that. That way, members can get a discount on it as opposed to just anybody else that comes along. But it's still very much up in my head what I'm kind of thinking of, and so I will let y'all know as soon as I know what I'm gonna do. And I get lots of ideas, and then I just don't have time to follow through on them. So I
Yeah.
just have
Well,
to
do you work through the summer? Do you get off over the summer?
know I work year round. Faculty
Oh.
gets off during the summer, but we don't. I'm staff. We work all the
Oh.
time.
Is it a
So
lighter schedule? Like, do you come home
no
early or only?
summer, no, still 10 hours a day. Sun during the summer, we don't have our department doesn't do summer school that much. I mean, the graduate students are there because they're working on their research projects and their dissertations and all that stuff. So they're there year round. But most of the faculty disappear in the summer. They're either going home to whatever country they come from, or they're off to conferences one after the other, or they're working on research. Sometimes that requires them to go off to other universities to meet with other researchers. So it's quiet around the office, but as part of the staff, we're doing a lot of our prep work for fall semester happens in the summertime. So all of our summer days are pretty much spent around getting things up and ready for what's going to happen in the fall.
I see.
And so it can stay pretty hectic in the summer, even though most of the time we're the only ones there. Nobody else is around. So
Well, do they
uh,
at least let you wear like shorts or, flip-flops or
not
like it?
shorts, but yeah, we get away with flip flops and blue
Yeah.
jeans and t-shirts, but we can dress like that during the regular season if we
Oh,
wanted.
you can? Oh,
It's
okay. I
we
don't know
can in
what.
our department. Our director has no problem with how we dress as long as it's not indecent. He doesn't care.
Oh,
You
I
know,
don't know
because
what campus life is like, or university life. Now, do they offer you like certain classes for, like, do you
oh
have
yeah, they
benefits?
offer. I mean, I can actually, if I wanted to go back and say work on a master's or something, I could go to school, and I would get like over half off of tuition and fees. We get a pretty large discount for ourselves or like our kids. So a lot of people when they work there, they stay till their kids get through college because then they get their tuition and fees at half the price, which is a huge savings, especially nowadays. They offer what they call lanyap classes in the summertime. Lanyap is Cajun French for a little extra. And there'll be little like 4 to 6 to 8 week courses that they'll teach, say, um, a course in jewelry making, or a
Oh,
course in beginning art, or a course in QuickBooks and spreadsheets and that kind of stuff, or a course in taking a foreign language, just not like a thorough foreign language class, but enough to get the basics where if you went to that country, you could at least order dinner and find the bathroom. Um, so, as far as I'm concerned, those are the two most important things. Where's the food and where's the bathroom? So that's usually what I learn first. And
Right. Conversational type, yeah,
yeah,
or
more conversational.
traveling
And
language.
we offer that with Cajun French. And I've been saying for years I'm going to take it one summer to bring it back. I used to know it when I was a little girl.
Oh.
I understood most of it. I could speak some of it, but then I was away for so long that it's all gobbledygook to me now. I don't really remember it. So when
Mm-hmm.
I keep saying I need to go take a class on it and refresh my memory and bring it back, and just trying to keep your own heritage growing and going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, I know when my mom was a kid in school, they would get punished if they spoke Cajun French in the
Oh.
schools. It was not allowed, and they pretty much almost lost the language.
Mm.
If it hadn't been for Cajun and Zydeco music being as popular as it is, and that's all sung in French. So you got to know the language to sing the songs. And so that's how they managed to keep the language alive. I still know a lot of people that grow up speaking Cajun French first, English second. Um, that's just how they learn in their home.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's the culture is so rich, and it's it's almost another country, or another, just an entire new way, a different way of life.
it
It's
is, and it's different from a lot of other Southern cultures,
mm-hmm.
from what you're going to find in Alabama or Mississippi or South Carolina or, Arkansas and Texas. It's Our area is very different because it's not just a Southern thing, it's a whole other race sect of people. I mean, Cajun people came originally from France to Nova Scotia, then down the Mississippi
Wow.
until they hit the ocean and said, okay, we'll stop here. And here we all are. So, and then there's, uh,
That's amazing. You've been many different places, but mostly in the South. Have you ever been up north anywhere?
no, the furthest north I've ever been is either Memphis or Nashville, whichever one is
Oh,
higher up. I've never been up north, but I'm hoping that I make it to New York in the fall and go to the Bronx and go see Miss Taro D. And
wow.
so he's been after me. Gotta come see us and spend time with us. I'm like, yeah, buddy, you got it. So talk about a fun time.
Yes.
And I've never been to New York, but never been to the Bronx either. So it's like that would
That
be
would be
cool.
so much fun. So much fun. And you two could do like a live, or a segment, or a
Oh,
sharing,
we're already talking about it. Yeah,
chronicle the
look
whole
up
event.
sessions, and it's. And he's laughing. He says, "Yeah, we'll just sit on the couch in the afternoons and drink cocktails and talk about people." Like, yeah, that works. So,
Yeah, I remember, the only thing I remember about the Bronx is I was driving from Philadelphia to Long Island, and I got lost in the Bronx. And there's all these on ramps, off ramps. I mean, it is just, you have to know. And, they're doing construction, there's no signs anywhere, and you're like, oh. So I had to stop and ask. All I remember is seeing a sign for the Bronx Zoo that way. I said, oh, I think I went the wrong way.
yeah, I mean, I can get around Phoenix. I learned it pretty good when I lived there. Um, that actually may be further north on the grid than Memphis or Nashville. I don't know, and but I had never been in a city that big until I moved there. But Phoenix is easy to navigate because Phoenix is built on a grid.
Mm-hmm.
All the streets,
Mm-mm.
just like looking at a grid map. And
And
So
you
it's
know how they say the London, you have to have a certification in order to become um, a taxi cab driver, because there are so many ins and outs, because they built the city, and then they built the city, and then they built and they, it was always configured every which way, and they, you have to have a certain a certain IQ. You have to test certain you have to have
yeah,
pass a certain test and keep up on certain tests in order to be able to be a taxi cab driver in London. But similarly, if you're in DC, DC is like a wagon wheel, and there's a
yeah,
circle, and then there's offshoots, and then there's offshoot. It's like
it's
if
crazy.
you,
Yeah,
it's very easy to get lost. Very
yeah.
easy to go right in
Well,
downtown when you. Mhm.
that's like down here where I am. A lot of the roads and whatnot that are like main roads now were at one time Bob's road that got to his farm, or that was the cow path that led to the barn, and it gets turned into a road. And so, yeah, you can twisty turny all around here and be going down the road, and halfway down the road, it changes names and it
Oh.
changes direction a little bit. It's like, okay, this is when I first moved to Lafayette, it was like, this is confusing. Um,
Mhm.
but after a while, it's just what you know. You get to learn it. Jenny said, yeah, that's how she learned Cajun French, was her grandparents taught her. And
Mm.
so, yeah, I mean, when I was little, it was at my granddaddy spoke it. And, when we would go to his parents' farm on the weekends, and that's all anybody spoke there was Cajun French. So that's kind of
Mhm.
how I picked it up when I was little. Um, but
Have you
then
heard? Have I ever told you my ghost story? Have you heard my ghost story?
I don't think so.
I did. I was on Ginger Faye's channel, and we did a little
I got to
paranormal
get her
thing.
on. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And she's fabulous. She's fabulous. And we had so much fun. It was I was single, and before I met my husband, and I wanted to move out of my parents' house and buy my own house, like as an investment, because it was the thing to do, and it would be better rather than paying rent. I could be paying mortgage and make a good
Right.
investment. And so I moved into this little condo, and it was a little home, and it and I it was. I'll just tell you, I paid 50,000 for my first home. I mean, people pay more than
Wow.
that for their first car, you know.
Yeah. You're lucky to get a car for that much.
So it was a little place, a little condo. It was affordable, and I thought, let me just try it and see if I can, rather than doing the rent thing, because the mortgage and the rent was the same, you know.
Yeah.
So I move in there, and I'm all excited, and I don't have any. I have like a couch and a bed and some, kitchen items. I don't have anything, any furniture. The whole place is open, and I'm sleeping in my, new place, and I hear somebody standing next to the bed, and I could hear somebody breathing, and I thought, "Oh my God, I'm in my home by myself, and somebody's breaking in and trying to attack me." So I turned around like this. I was so scared. My heart was like bouncing out of my chest, and there was absolutely nothing there. And I thought, could I have imagined that? I'm like, "Oh, that's weird." So each night I go to sleep, and I checked the clock, obviously, because I was so shaken. It was around 3:30, 3:33, somewhere around there. So each night it seemed to progress a little bit more. So the next night I heard the breathing, and I heard a clock radio, or radio going off, like sing like a regular radio. You know how you can tell a
Yeah.
radio, it's that sound. And I like would get up, and I would hear the radio. I would look around. There was nobody there. There was no radio playing, but I could hear it like in between that wake and sleep state.
Yeah.
So I couldn't sleep, and I kept getting waken up. And I one day I was laying in my bed, and I was like this, and I thought I sensed somebody, and I went like this. I just like closed my, I went like this, opened my eyes, and I saw him, and I went, ah! And I just screamed this blood curdling cry I've never heard come out of my body or anyone ever before. It was such a cry of fear. It was so, and I saw this
I've
man.
experienced that.
I yeah, I saw this man in laying next to me in my bed. He sat up on the side of the bed, stood up at the side of the bed, turned, and when he walked away, he disappeared. I was so just I was just so beside myself. I thought I was losing my mind. This is
Oh,
before I knew
wow.
I was a psychic medium.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean,
It was so
um,
startling and
when I
life-changing.
was
Mhm.
9 or 10, I think it was, we had moved into this apartment that had, at one time, it was like 4 or 5 apartments like stuck together. But at one time, it was a series of offices, like doctors'
Oh.
offices and whatnot. And the apartment we lived in had belonged to a doctor. And it was a 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartment. And the back bedroom stayed cold year round. Didn't matter. Hi, Scott. Hi, Amy. Hi, Jackie.
Hi,
It
everybody.
didn't matter what the temperature was outside. This was in Florida now. It stayed cold and clammy in that back
Mm,
room
mhm.
all the time. Neither me or my brother would go in there by ourselves. We just, I don't think he acknowledged what it was, but I just knew there was something not right with that room. Um, and so we would sleep with my mom in her bed every night. We would
I
never
would
sleep on
too.
our own. And I had one of those big, giant stuffed Lassie dogs that like sit
Oh.
up. And we would get up in the morning and we would find that dog all over the house, different places. Like one time we woke up, my mom got up and she went out to get the paper, and the dog was in the car, which was locked.
Oh my gosh.
He was like, how the hell did the dog get in the car when the car was locked and the keys are in the house? And it just kept getting more and more weird when we were there. And when you walked into the apartment, it was like a big rectangular room for the living room, the kitchen, and a back hallway. But it was actually just one big rectangle with some walls that had been put up. And so it was the living room, what would be the dining room, and then a breakfast bar put across with a kitchen. And so if you sat in the living room, you could see directly into the kitchen. I was about, I guess, 9 or 10, right in that area. And I had been home, I had been sick, and I was laying on the couch, and my mom had gone into the kitchen and she opened the refrigerator door to get something out of the refrigerator. And it was like something had punched her. She flew straight backwards a good 5, 6 feet
Oh my
into the back
God.
wall. She had a huge bruise on her chest, like a fist bruise, where something literally punched her and knocked her back against the wall. I saw it happen. I mean, I was sitting there looking at her and I saw it happen, and I was freaking out. She was freaking out. We didn't live there much longer after that. But she would wake up in the mornings, she'd have bruises, like looks like somebody had pinched her or stuff. She'd find scratches on herself. Never touched me or my brother, but whatever that spirit was that was there would attack my mom. And it was freaky. I mean, it was like there was only a couple of rooms that I would go in the whole house. I wouldn't go in other areas. We found out much later on that the doctor's office that was in that particular unit was uh, he actually provided um, for illegal abortions, because that was before abortions were legalized when he had that office. And according to the rumors, he killed a couple of people in the process of trying to provide that service.
Yeah, it's
Um,
dangerous. Yeah.
and so, yeah, just kind of freaky. And so I don't know if it was that spirit that was there or if it was one of the people that died that was there. I wasn't old enough to figure it out. But whatever it wasn't friendly. And that's for damn sure. And
Wow.
so that was kind of scary. And then just all throughout the years, stuff like that. God, I got so many ghost stories, things that just off the wall stuff that
That
happened.
is eerie having that stuffed dog in the car. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
we would
And it's
find,
almost like you have this disbelief. Like when you see it with your own eyes, you're like,
yeah,
Did I miss something? There is no logic, like your brain doesn't work. And that's what happens when like tragedy happens or stuff. Like you see it with your own eyes, but your brain doesn't comprehend it. There is this, like, this,
exactly.
I don't
It's
know.
like, this is not possible.
Mhm.
It was just like, this is not possible. My mom would find things taken out of the hallway closet and put in the middle of the living room. Now, this was a closet with shelves way up high. I was 9 or 10. That made my brother 3 or 4. There was no way we were climbing up into that closet and getting
Mhm.
heavy boxes out and moving them around the house. Just weird stuff like that that would happen. And yeah, I mean, I could do a whole show on that stuff.
Oh wow. So
Uh,
Ginny her husband said he saw a little girl in the middle of the night, but when he went to look, she was gone. And
yeah,
yeah, um, that
and
is
he lived in a haunted
yeah,
house. Yeah,
sightings and stuff. And you think people would know this. It should be like every day, but it's really very hush hush. I mean, it's really rarely reported or talked about.
yeah,
Um, so my little sister kind of thought that I was going off the rocker. So she says, "Why don't you come and spend the night at my house?" And she had two little babies, like a 2 year old and a newborn. And I said, "No, no." She goes, "No, no, come over and just sleep on the couch. You'll be fine." So uh, I came over and I slept on the couch and fell right to sleep. And the next morning, she's like, "Did you see any men?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, I had the best sleep in my life. Like, what do you think? No, I didn't see any men. I slept there through the night. So I said, but I still know that he's there. I can feel him. So my little sister goes, okay, let me put the kids to bed. My husband will be here and I'll come over and I'll just, we'll come over at like 10:30, 11 o'clock and we'll go to bed. And then the next morning I'll just go back home and she'll go to work from there. It was a work night. So she comes over and she sleeps in she walks in and she's like, okay, let's go. We're going to bed. She's tired. She just had to put the kids to bed. So I closed everything up. We went upstairs and we went to bed and shut off the light. She was like, she's not messing around. And so we're sleeping and she like elbows me and she goes, Jane, Jane. I'm like, what? She goes, he's here. And I said, I know. And she says, he's sitting on my legs. And her legs were straight and she couldn't pull them up to her chest. And her legs are like paralyzed. He was sitting on her legs. And that's where he usually is right there. So I said, I know. And I could hear him breathing too. And so we just started screaming. And I jumped up and put the light on and we just had the flashlight, we had the light, we had everything, put the TV on, blared it. And she was just like, we have got to get rid of this guy. She said, I did not believe you. And I'm telling you, to this day, my family would have put me in the funny farm category if I did not have a witness
yeah,
saying that there was definitely, it really, and I always told her, if it wasn't for you, who knows what would have happened to me.
exactly. Yeah, the stuff that's happened to me over the years, it's wild. I mean, and when you try to explain it to somebody and they just look at you like your cheese slid off the cracker, it's like, what's wrong with her? What kind of drugs are you taking? I want some,
I
that
like
kind of
that.
thing.
Cheese off
Um,
the cracker.
I heard that in a movie somewhere. I don't even
So
remember what movie it was, but I heard that and I always thought that's just the coolest thing I've ever heard. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I've never seen anything. I've never seen a spirit. I don't think I want to, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. Spirit
Mhm.
may decide it's time for me to do that too. Uh, but I've always
Sometimes.
heard them,
Mhm,
and I've had conversations with them, not knowing that's who or what it was. When I
mhm,
was little, um, I would just talk to
mm.
them. Oh, okay.
Sometimes they're like a white mist, and then other times, this guy that I saw was, almost like when you're walking in front of a plate glass window, like if you're window shopping and you can see inside the window, but you can see yourself in the glass,
Yeah, you get that reflection. Yeah,
and you can see the color of what you're wearing, but it's very transparent. It's like, that's what he was. I could see all the color of everything in the outline, but he was very transparent. And so
that's
yeah,
wild.
I
That's
def I
wild.
had a medium come and help him to cross over, and when he was crossing over, he stopped and turned around and said, "Tell Jean I said thank you, for helping me." He thought I was his wife, and he was waiting for his wife because he had crossed before her, never didn't go the other, all the way over to the other side, and still was waiting for her. Here, this was like, you know, 200 years ago, and he thought I was his wife and was waiting for me to cross
Yeah.
over with him. And so uh, his wife was over there, and he went and was greeted by his wife, and he turned around and said, "Tell Jean thank you," because he was just lost. And that, like, a few weeks later, I met my husband. And I'm telling you, I
Wow.
feel like I feel like something I feel like there's I can't figure out what the connection is, but there's a connection there, because there's nothing else I wanted in my whole life than to find a really nice man who loved me for all the quirky me,
Yeah.
and I remember when we were first dating, I was telling him about the ghost, and he didn't get scared away. So I thought, okay, he's a keeper.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, now my husband never believed in any of that stuff, and the few times I ever talked about it, he would be like, "Oh, stop that! It's not real." And I'd say, "Look, when you experience it, you will know that it's real." And since he's passed, he's let me know, okay, you were right, I was wrong.
Oh, really?
I get those messages every now and again. I'll just hear it, or something will pop up, it'd be like, okay, you were right, I was wrong. So it's like, okay, well, at least now I wasn't completely crazy. So I guess maybe it takes being over on the other side to realize, oh yeah, we do come back, don't we? People
It's
can make
amazing.
that trip. So it's amazing. And of course, living where I live now, it's you can't walk into a building without
Yeah.
feeling something there. It's the building that I work in every day was built on top of a burial ground, a Native
Oh.
American burial ground. And so it's got very odd energy in that building, but it's not scary or bad energy. It's just you can feel it. It just feels there's certain spots in the building that if you stand in that spot, it feels like it almost feels like it's a portal or something. You
Mm.
get that kind of feeling, you can feel the air displace. And
Mhm.
it's something is like if you move or take a step in the wrong direction, you're going to step into something else. And
Wow.
so I've learned just to be real still and let it pass. And then I go on because it's like I don't want to go
Yeah, I guess
wherever it's leading me. So
yeah, in the culture where you live, it must be a little more acceptable, or a little more talked about, or a little more
yeah, it's
mainstream.
a lot of people down here. It's like, yeah, everybody's got ghosts. It's like
Mhm.
no big deal. You get
Mhm.
outsiders that live here that think you're nuts, but most of the Cajun or the Creole people that live here, it's just a part of the culture. It's like no big deal.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah.
Well,
That's
I knew a friend whose grandmother used to come and rock in the rocking chair and used to do different things, with the stuffed animals or write something in the dust. And, he would tell me all these different stories and stuff. And I believed him. He was telling the truth. And I believed him. And I knew that I believed that there are ghosts. And that definitely happened. But that believing and seeing with my own eyes, believing is two different things. You think you believe in ghosts when somebody tells you these stories and you say, "Yeah, I believe." But until you lay your eyes on one, you see it with your own eyes,
yep,
there is just a different level of uh convincing, I guess. I don't know, but
yeah.
it's yeah.
It's like what I used to tell my husband back in the day. It's like when you experience it firsthand, then you know what you know what you know, and no one will ever be able to pull you back across that line, because now you've been to the other side and you know that it's real and you know that it's there.
Yep,
And
yep,
that's,
that's a good way of putting it. You know what you know what you know.
yeah,
There's no
you know.
yeah. Mhm.
So I see lots of ghost talk in there. I haven't seen anything but one question. So
Oh, well, that's
yeah,
okay. I think there's a lot of big names on at this exact time. I hadn't realized that there's somebody else going on at the exact same time
yeah.
we were, but I'm sure.
Linda G went live just before us, and
Mhm. There's a couple
um,
other ones, but it's okay because I know that there's people that like to come back and watch the after. So we have
mhm.
a wonderful show here and of content and sharing lots of fun conversation
And I
that
love
they'll.
this topic. I mean, I could talk about paranormal stuff all the time. Um, I've always found it so intriguing. It was the paranormal that kind of helped lead me back into this
Oh,
culture, you know,
yeah.
um, when all the ghost shows and stuff came out in the early 2000s. And
Mhm,
I
and
was
Sixth Sense, yeah, the
yeah,
movies.
and
Mhm.
the movie, and I would sit and watch them and think, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, I've experienced that. Yeah, yeah, I've had that happen to me, and that kind of stuff. And it was kind of the beginning of internet radio. And there
Mm,
was one network called Para X Network.
mm,
And it was all things paranormal. They would have shows with psychics, with cryptid hunters, with ghost hunters, with I don't know. You think of anything in that whole sphere, and there was somebody with a show on that network about it. And I would listen to them a lot. And that's when that's when I had my palms read for the first time. Was
mm.
on a guest that was on one of those shows, and they were trying to figure out, well, how can you read palms when it's the radio and we can't see each other? Because that was before there was video. You was just listening. And she was like, well, people could take a picture of their hands and then email them to this email address. And as they come in, I'll look at them and I'll give you a reading on your picture. And
Wow.
I remember listening to her and thinking, oh, how interesting. I can do that. And so I took a picture of both hands and I sent them in. And when she got to my name, and this woman was like, I've never seen anybody with this many lives before.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what, this many lives? And she was like, you've got lifelines just crisscrossing your hands. Said, I've never seen that many lifelines on a single person's hands before.
Wow.
And she's like, you're probably one of the oldest souls I've ever come across. And of course, since then, I've found out a lot more about just how old my soul is. So it's kind of, but that was kind of the kicker that started it off. And it wasn't long after that that my mom came out to Phoenix to live with me for a while. And we used to go to the reservation to buy cigarettes because it was cheaper. And so we had become friends with the guys that ran the little store.
Of
And
course.
I had, yeah, naturally. And, they just they were sweethearts, absolute sweethearts. And I went in one day to grab a pack of smokes, and the guy was like, "Oh, hey, come see, come see, come see." And I walk over and I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" He says, "We got some new calendars we just had done up, and all the pictures is from local artists on the reservations." I
Mm.
was like, "Oh, how cool." I said, "How much are the calendars?" He says, "No, no, we're giving them away to our special customers, those that we know." And
Oh,
so that's how I got the picture of my spirit guides, was
wow.
because um, as I got the calendar, I brought it home, I showed it to my mom. We're looking at all the pictures in the calendar. And when I came to that one picture, I physically felt something reach out and just grab me. And I heard very clearly in my head, "We're your guides." I had no clue what that meant. I just knew the picture was important. And I was like, "Okay, we're not using this calendar." I can't, we got to keep the picture nice. And so my mom snuck it out of the house uh, for my birthday. And she took that picture and she had it matted and framed in this huge frame. And it goes everywhere with me. I mean, when we moved into the new place 3 years ago, that was like when we got here, the first thing I was saying is, "Where's my picture?" And
Oh,
my son was like,
mhm.
"I got it here. It's wrapped in blankets, so it won't get messed up." Um, Let me see if I
That's
can.
nice that you have that pivotal point that you knew when things began, you know?
Exactly. And it was just one of those things that when it happened, it was uh it was really kind of breathtaking. It was just like
Mm,
whammo. It was so strong and so I don't know how to put it. Just it was such a vivid, uh, just such a vivid experience, I guess, is the best way to put it when it happened.
mhm.
I've got the picture here on my computer somewhere. I'm trying to
Oh,
find it.
okay. Okay,
And
good.
so I can show everybody.
Yeah, we'd love to see it. That's fun.
So I was trying to, where did I stick it? I don't remember now.
Yeah, you feel the shift.
In one
You
of my
feel
folders.
like something's different. That like it's it's never going to be the same after this, you know? Like
Exactly.
there's a mhm.
Exactly. It's like
You were touched. Mhm.
the minute it happens, you're like, "Oh, wait a minute." you know, um, that's just it. Let me see if I do it this way. I might be able to find it faster. Because I just saw it the other day and I thought, "Oh, I need to put that in an easier spot to pull it up."
Mhm. Mhm.
You saw how well that happened. Um,
No, it's not easy. It's not easy
and
keeping
it
these things.
I know this drives me crazy because I could have
That's all right.
swore that I had it.
So Jenny's saying, I
But
can't watch The Sixth Sense to this day. It makes you sad. And you know, it's a shame because all that scary music and he's always like, drooling, crying.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
they kind of gross it up some. It's like it it doesn't have to it doesn't have to look that way. It doesn't
and
necessarily. Here we go.
and Amy Warrior Princess says she can see the spirit too.
Yeah, I mean it's no, not that. Okay, let's see.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, Heather. And let's see if I can get this pulled up. Let's see.
Yeah, I love the Native American art
Mhm.
anyway, and just resonates with me on a deeper level for sure.
Let's see. It's not on a tab. Here we go. That's that's the picture.
Wow. Can you zoom in a little bit?
I
Do
don't
you
know
have a
if
roll? There you go.
yeah.
Wow.
Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Um, and
Woof.
everybody that looks at it sees something different in it. I mean, I see horses in it. I've seen a dragon in it. I see the faces, the different, the different guides that are like you can almost see with their headdress coming off there and there, and it's just something about that picture just absolutely blew me away. I mean, like I said, the second I laid eyes on it, I
Wow.
felt it and I heard it talk to me and just say, "We're your guides." And so
Yeah, this is
they,
somebody's memory. This is what somebody saw, and you see this. I mean, this is what you felt.
yeah, yeah, because this was native work. This was a native artist that did it from their reservation, and I was just like, I was blown away when I saw it. And of course,
Hmm.
my mom had it matted and framed in this big, huge frame, and used museum glass so it doesn't glare or anything. And she had it like there's certain kind of mats you can use that are like acid treated so that the pictures can't disintegrate if they get too much sun or something like that. Uh,
Right.
she like went all out for me to fix it up. But
That's
yeah, it
beautiful.
was that was my those are my guides.
I'm so glad you had the opportunity to share that with us. What a beautiful picture and a meaningful story that you
Yeah,
about your experience too. It's beautiful. It's really nice.
yeah,
Well,
it's and and it's like I would talk about things like that, and it's not like my family ever acted like I was crazy or something because all the women in our family have the gift, as they call it. They just have it differently. So whenever I would exhibit something that would relate to that, I would just get this look of, oh, okay, you got the gift. And that would be it. The end of discussion. No explanations, no nothing. So for like I said, for years it just stayed locked in the closet. It was like I don't want to deal with this. And then it got to where I couldn't keep it in the closet. And
so
so
Heather's so sweet. She's saying, Jean, you helped me so much the other day. Thank you for the reading. You're
oh,
welcome.
that's awesome. We
Uh,
only had one question come up, and he's new, so I would like to try to throw a card
Is
on it.
Davy Jones still here?
Yeah, I don't know. Davy, are you still here?
Maybe
If you
we can catch
are,
him on the next one if he's
yeah,
not.
if
But
he's not here, then
yeah, we both have shows after this, so I do need to go soon. And Jenny says, I see the faces and horses. I'm so excited. I hopefully go to New Mexico on my next assignment. Wow. Good for
that's
you, Jenny.
awesome. Well, this was pulled from the McDowell Reservation. They're just outside of Scottsdale, Arizona. And
Hmm.
so, Davy, if you're here, speak up. I'm not seeing him. So
Yeah,
I think
it was a little while
probably
back.
he probably
It
left because we just got to talking and
I think
it was
everything works out
the
for a
way
reason.
it's supposed
And
to.
I think it was important that we had this opportunity to have a spiritual conversation. I think a lot of people really like to listen to this and just give it a little bit of a break. We'll come back again next time and do
Oh
some
yeah.
readings, and Sherry will be on my channel and we'll do the rock and roll readings. And
Yeah,
it's
because we get together once a month. So yeah, we take turns, and so next time I'll be on Jean's channel, and we'll see what happens when. But yeah, this was nice just to be able to sit and chat about. I don't get to talk about this a whole lot, and I know several other people all have shows that they do with just this, but
yeah.
they usually they're on at a time that I couldn't be a guest even if I wanted to. So, um, and of course you have to be asked anyway. But I
I
guess
don't
most
know.
people don't know that I'm into that. But Amy Warrior Princess, we just started a monthly show called uh, Monthly Mysteries. And so every month it's just going to be a different kind of mystery, whether if it's a cold case or a ghost story or whatever we decide to go with that month.
It's
And
really fun because the less you know about something, the more information you can pick up through spirit or through the cards or through intuition or gut instincts. It's amazing. I When I was doing that with Ginger Faye, she the information that was coming through about Egypt, or I forget, we were something. Oh, was it Nefertiti? I think we did it on. And the information that we'd never even thought about asking for was coming through. And we were like,
yeah,
oh my God. Like, it's really fun to do something like that, like a really an investigation about something you really
absolutely.
don't know very much about. And just allow the information to flow through, and it really resonates.
Well, that's
It
like
makes
with
a
Amy
fun
and
show.
the show that we just did, I guess a couple of weeks ago. Um, it was a cold case on two women that had been murdered over in England. And we originally had planned to do the show like a couple of months ago, and just things happened and we just weren't able to do it yet. And so when we got ready to do the show, she was like, "Well, did you rewatch the video we had on it and everything?" I said, "No." I said, "I went and pulled my notes that I made from the first time I watched it way back when, and
Mm,
I've got my notes just to kind of refresh my memory. But I said, I didn't rewatch it because I kind of want to go into it a little on the cold side just to see
mm-hmm.
what I can pick up on it." And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we were picking up on some stuff that was pretty amazing. Um, but and very interesting. But I've always liked that kind of any kind of woo woo stuff, I guess you could say. It's always been an interest of mine. And
And it helps to exercise your psychic and mediumship abilities. And you
oh
never
yeah,
know. It's when I'm on the show, with Allie or the ladies, and somebody asks a question that's quite obscure and unusual, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know. What did I? Oh, I said, I don't know. I've never read birds before. Let me see if I can get a message. And don't you know, somebody's bird came through with a message live on air. I'm like, I never thought I could get a message from
yeah.
a
Who would
bird.
think? I mean, a couple of times I've picked up on an animal that has spoke to me, but that's something. It's like you watch Mark do it, and it's just so effortless. I mean, he's just plugged in to their level of communication,
Hmm.
and I've had it happen to me a couple of times, and it wasn't
Hmm.
anywhere near the depth that he goes to with it. But it's like, yeah, that would be really cool if I could really be able to speak to and understand what animals are trying to tell me. As much as I love animals and I've always had them around me.
Yeah.
Um, so I know you've got another show, and we
Yep.
just hit an hour
And
and
you
19
do too.
minutes.
Hmm.
And
We
yep, we both got our afternoons planned out, and I'm still doing laundry on top of it. So I got a load to come out of the dryer and another load to go into the dryer. So thank y'all for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for letting us just have an afternoon of chatting. That's so cool. Sometimes we don't get to do that very often. We get
Everything
on
happens for a
and we're
reason.
reading right away, and we don't really get a chance to just sit and chit chat. So
Hmm.
um, do be sure that um, we
I'll be on with um, Valerie from Illumination Portal and Diana Bowles on the new moon
oh,
Pisces
awesome.
tonight at
They're both
7 p.m.
really they're
Pardon?
both really good. Yeah.
At 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And then tomorrow, Monday, I'm on with Tarot Stash at 2. And then I'm on with the ladies, Terry and Wisdom Seeker Joan at 4:30 Eastern. So I have a double show tomorrow too.
There
And
you
this
go.
is my
I have
son.
Draining the Swamp tomorrow night. So
Oh,
that's my political show with Arthur and normally Mel, but Mel's out of the country. So I
that's
may
why
have a
it's so
surprise
quiet
guest.
around here.
Yeah, I may
He
have a
took
surprise
everybody
guest.
with him.
Yeah, exactly. Um, invited a couple of people, if they were free because it was kind of last minute. If they wanted to join us, so we'll see. A couple of them were like, if I get through the show I'm on in time, and I'm like, okay, just if you show up, you show up. If not, don't worry about it. Um, so if not, it'd just be me and Arthur and go from there. So it's a lot of fun. We get
Hmm.
kind of snarky with it. It's just
Yeah.
having a good time with it all. So um thank y'all very much for coming and spending your Sunday afternoon with us. Thank you for allowing us to just sit and chill out, and because we're going to both be going back to work in the next shows. So this was a nice reprieve.
Hmm.
We've
Absolutely.
kind
I
of
enjoyed it, Sherry. Thank you very much.
you're
I
more
always
than
enjoy my
welcome.
time I spend with you. Hmm.
Well, let's say goodbye. Don't go anywhere, Gene. We'll talk after the stream ends. And y'all have a great Sunday afternoon. If you're not doing anything in roughly an hour, come back and watch me and go check out Jean on hers. And we will see you then. So bye for now.